Do you ever hear things that could be happening, but you just don't know what they are or how to do it? Did I ask that right? Mm-hmm. Okay, next week when Rick is here, after what I tell you today, I want you to listen to what he plays, and I think after I'm done today, you should be able to sit and recognize his riffs and fills. Okay? Or when you listen to music on the radio, or on your stereo, or iPod. When you start listening to music and you can name and label what's going on, do you do that now? Okay, well I think we should learn how to do that. My husband taught me this a long time ago because he is he must have 4,000 or 5,000 CDs. One solid wall of his music studio at home is shelves of CDs. And he's listened to every one of them. He spends hours listening to other people's music, and then he takes out of other people's music ideas for his music. All right? Now, I'm trying to get ready for the Oregon Fest. So, when you prepare a song to play for someone, that takes kind of your practice to another level, doesn't it? Because you want it to be unique and different. You don't want it to be just a plain old song like everybody else. So I try to hear things that I can add to the song that'll make it mine. The problem is, I'm not real original. Are you? I think I'm more like you. All I can do sometimes is just read the notes that are in front of me without putting original in there. That's why you can't be original with a hard song. It just won't happen. You have to have a stupid song like Marianne that's so easy to play that you don't even have to think. Then the original starts to come up and you become more inventive. Does that make sense? All right. If I play Marianne, and I'm just going to play it in the key of C for a minute, I want you to listen, and when I get to the all day, all night Marianne, I want you to just close your eyes and hear something. Did you hear anything?
Repeat it again.
Now, maybe you just heard cha-cha-cha. Huh? The last note is what I want you to hear, not the rest of it. Don't listen to this part. Right here. I'm sitting on that note a really long time. It's boring. Okay, see where it says a fill, I don't know if it's a fill are notes. A fill is notes. That doesn't make sense either. It does. A fill is notes that are added to a melody that is not part of the original melody. So it's like improvisation. Just put in other notes. A riff is a series of chords that either come from the original song or a progression of chords in the key that the song is written in. In other words, you can steal the chords that are in the song, or you can just make some up in between verses. A riff usually comes between verses of a song. When you're bored and you're tired of hearing it all day, all night, Marianne, 4 or 5 times. Okay? Easy riff hints. Play riffs and fills on notes that are 3 beats or more. In other words, if the note is white, that's a good time to do it. Flat notes, you don't have time, so don't even bother. Quarter notes, eighth notes, half notes, dotted half notes, whole notes, tied notes, things like that. When you have time, like this. See, I'm just sitting there. Or, oh, when the saints, this will last forever. That's when you should be able to go, oh, I can hear something. All right? might hear this. See, that's cha-cha-cha. That's a fill, and you just stuck it in there. An echo. Okay, that's where I'm going. Riffs are usually chord progressions. All right, so sometimes you can just hit one chord, or you might do this. See, it's something. Just you can either hit one chord or multiple chords, and if you know how the circle works, then you can get into that later. We're not going there today. Riffs are almost always played with the right hand, either an octave higher than the melody or on the lower manual. Okay? So usually, there, or you can just, if you're playing the organ, you just bring your hand down to the lower manual and play something down there. Okay? Practicing riffs and fills. All right. Number one, the easiest way, if you're not an original, is to copy or echo what someone else did. Thank you. Repeat the previous phrase or go back one measure. Repeat the previous phrase or go back one measure. What's a phrase? This is a phrase. It's a sentence. So if at the end where there's a little period, that would be a phrase. Some songs have phrase marks, big long line over the phrase. Usually it's just a complete thought if there's words. So all day, all night, Marianne. All right, now, so my fill might be this. See, I just took that last measure and moved up an octave and repeated it. Okay? Or I might do this. See, I just decided to spread it out. You don't have to count. You don't have to say, okay, well, it's held for 6 beats. In 6 beats, I got to fit it all in. You could make your fill 12 beats if you want to. How do you know if it's right or wrong? Doesn't matter. It sounds good. All right. Walk up. Now, number 2. Walk up a scale. Use the scale that the chord comes from. All right. So if I'm playing a G chord, then I'm probably just going to take the G scale. Just keep walking. All right. So you just take a hike. Or you can go down, you can go up, you can move up an octave, and just start with just basic, don't get too fancy, and then later on you can skip. See, just stay in the chord. That's why all these years, for some of you, I've been telling you, you've got to know the scales. If it's a D scale, you better know that there's a sharp. Right? So you got to kind of be aware of that. All right, number 3, block a chord. It's called a cha-cha-cha. For Marianne, cha-cha-cha, or that's called polka chord. Just hit it once, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Cut your fingernails so it doesn't look like mine. Number 4. This is my favorite one. It's called a grace note. Grace note a chord. I spent probably a year in college trying to learn jazz. They had a jazz piano class. They never had jazz organ classes. But it was the same scenario. So they have jazz scales, there's blues scales, there's all different kinds of things you can learn. None of it ever soaked in for me. I always admire people that could go, you know, they're like all over the keyboard, like the clarinet players. And I'm going, how do they do that? Well, there's books written on how to play jazz and riffs and things like that, but I don't know why, I just didn't get it. Do any of you know how to do that? So, somebody along, way back when, taught me how to cheat. You want me to show you?